This is Captain Soban of the fleet, Farron Shaw. We have arrived in Sector 112 and request targeting data.
Hello everyone, this is Captain Soban. Welcome aboard to Starship Normal-Prize for another episode of Homeworld Wars. Okay, can anyone tell me what this ship is? If you guys guessed Kushan Heavy Cruiser because you are a major Homeworld 1 fan, you know where this ship comes from, and you're also someone who's smart and knows how to read titles, you would be correct. Apparently, it turns out that the Homeworld 1 Heavy Cruiser asset is actually in the Homeworld Cataclysm files. It's kind of deeply buried. I guess the developers for Homeworld Cataclysm was eventually going to implement this in, but they never got to it or something. I don't know the history behind it. But anyways, I was able to get this in, and how you actually have to do this is you have to asset flip the one of the buildable units, because the game thinks this is the Dreadnought, even though it's not. It's the Heavy Cruiser, because you can't actually put in the queue for the other ships that you want to make. You have to flip them around and have the game think that this is actually what you want. But it has all of the stats of the Heavy Cruiser: 4 ion cannons, 6 energy cannons, and apparently they actually made a repulsor gun for this thing too, like on the Dreadnought. I didn't put that in. That was actually part of the asset flip. So yes, asset flip, not acid flip. So anyways, that's pretty darn cool. But the reason I'm talking about this because we're going to experiment with these old heavy cruisers. We actually have quite a bit of different tests that we're doing today. The first test is going to be 10 of our Kushan Heavy Cruisers versus 10 Beast-infected Imperial Titan Heavy Cruisers. And the second one is going to be the same thing, 10 versus 10, but instead the enemy heavy cruisers will have the ability to use their Beast Infect weapon. I want to see how that changes the results of our little experiment. And Group 3 is again 10 versus 10, but we'll be able to use our Repulsor Cannon. I want to see how much of a difference that would make for the Kushan side. And then Group 4 is 10 versus 10 for our fourth battle as well, but we'll be able to use both the Beast-infected weapon and the Repulsor Cannon. I think that's what's called, Repulsor Cannon? Repulsor weapon, Repulsor Cannon, whatever. And I want to see if how the differences are between those. And then our fifth and final battle for today will be 14 Kushan Heavy Cruisers versus 12 Heavy Cruisers. When I first checked the stats for these guys, for some reason they only required 30 support units, which to me is way too low. And I think they did that because it's a commandeer ship. We're not really supposed to be building this type of ship. But instead, I doubled that to 60, because 60 for a battlecruiser class ship to me makes a lot more sense, especially one that is close to equivalent to the Titan ships.
Stand by Group 1.
So because of that, our fifth battle would be 14 versus 12, because the Beast-infected Beast-infected heavy cruisers require 70 support units, and our heavy cruisers only require 60. So, to find a good round number, I put 12 and 14 because eventually those become the same exact support units. I think it's 420. It might be 480. I think it's 480. But anyways, before we start, let's go ahead and compare. Let's compare the stats between the Beast Heavy Cruisers and the Kushan Heavy Cruisers. So to start out with, the Kushan Heavy Cruiser has 90,000 health. The Beast-infected Heavy Cruiser has 85,000 health. So the Kushan have slightly more health than the Titan one, which makes sense because the Kushan was always a little bit more defensive than the Titan. Of course, they have the same advanced destroyer drive, self-repairing ability. When the other one is, heals from the infection, armor level 3, blah blah blah. But the ion cannons each do 21 damage on the heavy cruiser, or on the Kushan Heavy Cruiser. On the Beast-infected one, they do 24, so 3 more damage. And the energy cannons do 104 on the heavy cruiser, or on the Kushan side. They do 120 on the Beast side. So will the 5,000 extra health that the Kushan Heavy Cruiser gets, will that be enough to offset the extra damage that the Titan does? Well, that's what this test is all about. But anyways, that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get into the battle. So let me tell the enemy heavy cruisers to attack us. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. And then we'll tell ours to attack.
All guns, fire!
Let's go, let's go! This is gonna be a slaughterfest. It's gonna be beam-tastic. So many beams! So many beams and so many energy cannons. Oh my god. That is a lot of energy cannons flying by. Also, let me go ahead put them all in aggressive. That makes sure that they use all of their damage and have the maximum amount of accuracy possible. So much firepower being flown around. This is going to be a long battle. Now imagine if you were like a fighter, like you came over and you noticed this giant battle coming on. I definitely would not be the one getting involved, even if it was like a squadron of attack bombers. If these guys are upgraded energy cannons, these guys are, I mean, both of these heavy cruisers are extremely powerful because these energy cannons can home into enemy targets. So far we're still pretty average. It looks like this heavy cruiser, yeah, this heavy cruiser is starting to take a decent amount of damage. But on the Kushan side, it looks like we're still doing pretty well. This might be pretty balanced, which, according to the data we just looked at, it should be pretty balanced. In fact, it's probably going to be so balanced, I might just think about increasing these to 70. Because the only difference between these guys is these guys have slightly more health, and the Titan versions do a little bit more damage. This heavy cruiser looks like it's starting to take a decent amount of damage. The Titan seem to be keeping everything a little bit balanced. I don't really see any of our heavy cruisers, except for this one. He's starting to take a decent amount of damage. But I like how there's so many beams flying around right now that all you hear is the beam noise. And one thing that's interesting about these little heavy cruisers, as you notice, for some reason when you zoom out, the graphics get better. But if you zoom in, the graphics get worse. This meshes backwards. And there's nothing I can do about that. That's just how it's made. Because if we look at the Imperial ones, if we're zoomed all the way in, it looks pretty nice. And we start zooming out, notice the graphics drop. And we zoom all the way out. Actually, it only has 2 templates. Interesting. But these guys have like 3. Because this is where they look the best, but even though it's all the way zoomed out. Because you can actually see the engines. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's all the way zoomed in. It's not supposed to be like this. Ooh, looks like one of the Titan guys are about to die. One of the Titan heavy cruisers. It's getting close. This heavy cruiser is in the yellow. Interesting. But so far, this one is about to die. It's getting really, really close.
Report of hostiles by Group 1.
This one down here is flaming. But we also have 2 heavy cruisers that are in the yellow on our side as well.
Outcome unknown.
There we go. That heavy cruiser is destroyed. These 2 are both in the yellow. They're still doing a decent amount of damage. Just the other heavy cruisers are kind of spreading their damage through everywhere, where our heavy cruisers are kind of doing some concentrated fire. Because it only looks like 2 of these are in the yellow. Like he's in the yellow, he's in the red. Our side, we have 2 of them in the yellow. One of them is getting close to yellow. And yeah. So far, still pretty good, but I'm like completely mesmerized watching all these energy weapons just fly around. Really, really makes me happy. It looks like the Titan are gonna get down to about 2. Or about to lose 2 of them. We are getting close to losing 1. We're the Kushan side, not we. We're just spectators watching the battle.
Dreadnought damaged.
Your Dreadnought's damaged. It's not a Dreadnought, it's a heavy cruiser. I've told you that like 20 times already, game. Yeah, we're about to lose 1 more Titan heavy cruiser.
Outcome unknown.
There he goes. So we're down to 8 Titan heavy cruisers. We do have another one that's getting really close to dying. Everyone is using their weapons, right? Yeah, they are all using their weapons. Same with our side, right? Yeah, everyone is shooting their weapons. Cool. You're getting close to dying. We're about to lose 2 Kushan heavy cruisers. But the Titan are about to lose another one. I think it's this one. Nope. It's this one over here. He is about to die. There we go. Titan are down. A few of them. By the way, this is taking longer than I thought, so this video might be pretty long. We got a bunch more video or fights to do. But I really wanted to play around with the Kushan heavy cruiser since I figured out how to get them in the game.
Squadron outnumbers enemy force.
I hope they outnumber. Outnumbered by 2. We're about to lose 1 more, and we're about to lose another Kushan heavy cruiser. He's getting very, very close to dying. They're really putting up a good fight, though. This one over here is in red.
Damage.
He's not a Dreadnought. He's a heavy cruiser. Get his job title right.
Dreadnought destroyed. Right wing
Okay.
destroying enemy vessels.
So we're down to 6 heavy cruisers on the enemy team. We're down to 8. We're enemy team, the Titan team, and we're down to 8. And they're about to lose another one, which is this one. This guy down here got promoted, which is nice. So now he does 114 and 23 on ions.
Stand by Group 1.
I think he's the only one that got promoted. Any beast side get promoted? Nope. If they did, they probably died. Oh yeah. These guys are being tortured now.
Report of hostiles by Group 1.
The Titan might be able to kill this one. That's probably it. They're down to 4. So yeah. At 10 versus 10, it looks like the Kushan would definitely be the team that would win. They might be able to kill 1 more, but I don't think they're going to be able to kill anything else. Yeah, because the Kushan are starting to use concentrated fire. So this guy's going to die pretty quickly. A lot of the Kushan heavy cruisers are focusing their ions on this guy. He's close to dying. Ooh, we got 2 heavy cruisers that are promoted. Yeah, because of that, I think the beast is definitely going to die. Because they're down to 3 now.
Group should have no problem.
We do have 2 heavy cruisers that are extremely damaged. They might be able to wipe them out before we wipe out the rest of the heavy cruisers. They are doing concentrated fire on the weakest beast cruiser. This is different than I was expecting, honestly. I was kind of expecting this to be a little bit closer, but it all depended on how they work. The Beast kind of focused more on spread fire, where the Higarans focused more, or not the Higarans, the Kushan focused more on concentrated fire. Which on ships this big is probably not a bad idea. They might actually kill these 2 heavy cruisers before we wipe the rest of them out. We're down to 2. We got 3 of them that are promoted. And he's probably not going to survive.
Enemy force.
Yeah, he's about to die. Come on.
Dreadnought destroyed.
There we go. And he is being annihilated. And then this one's going to shortly be annihilated too, but he might be able to kill this one. Bringing them down to 6. But the Kushan Heavy Cruisers definitely have the upper hand on this one. There we go. Oh yeah, he is so screwed. Will you be able to kill this one in time? I mean, your beams are focusing on that one. Your cannons are focusing on that one. I don't think he's actually going to kill him in time. Oh, wait, hang on. He's changing his mind. He's doing focus fire on this guy. Might be able to kill him. But, ooh, it's going to be close. I don't know. He's not going to kill him. He's about to die. Boom! Well, there you have it. If we have 10 Kushan Heavy Cruisers versus 10 Higaran Heavy Cruisers, or Kushan Heavy Cruisers, the Kushan ones win. So that 5,000 extra armor actually really came in handy for these guys. Now, let's move on to our second one. Now, in the second one, we are going to do the same battle that we just did, but we're going to allow the Beast Heavy Cruisers to use their Beast Infected weapon. This will actually, I'm thinking this will give them a large enough advantage to actually win. Because these heavy cruisers can't be infected, but the beast infection weapon will do a decent amount of damage to them. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's tell you guys to attack. Tell you guys to attack. And then once our heavy cruisers, the enemy heavy cruisers get close enough, infect. Holy crap, that thing literally almost killed that heavy cruiser.
Dreadnought destroyed.
It did actually kill it. Continue infecting, boys. Alright. So 1 round of infection destroyed an entire heavy cruiser with 10 of them. That was amazing. I don't know why you guys are getting so close to each other. Go ahead and start attacking. Aggressive and aggressive. Whoops. Boop boop. Yep. The Beast Infected weapon is about 1/4 charged. That was actually cool. I wasn't really expecting that infection weapon to do that much damage. Come on, y'all. You. Move up.
Outcome unknown.
Get up here and start doing some damage. There you go. Same with you. You. Get over here. There we go. Trying to get these heavy cruisers to actually start doing damage. Because all they're doing is like shooting every once in a while and just using their beams. Okay. And boom. Okay. Back to the other computer. Yay, we're a little bit more spread out this time. Cool. The Beast Infected weapon is 75% charged on the other heavy cruisers. We do have 1 heavy cruiser that's getting close to dying, which is this guy right here on the Beast side. And this guy back here is getting close to dying. Must be really taking a lot of concentration. Will I be able to get this Beast Infect weapon ready to go? Nope, not before he dies. Dang it. Alright, everyone, infect! Nice. How much damage did that do? I didn't have the camera in the middle, so hopefully you guys actually saw that. I was looking on my other monitor. He's about to die. He's the one that took the brunt of the infection weapon. The infection weapon makes this a whole lot more deadlier. And to be fair, we may have lost a couple heavy cruisers, but most of it is just to the beast infect weapon. Okay, I'm just double checking, making sure everyone is actually using their weapons. It looks like they all are. So good.
Report of hostiles by group 2.
Good, good, good. We got 2 heavy cruisers that are getting close to dying. The beasts have 3 heavy cruisers that are in the yellow. One of them we actually are looking at right now. The other one is you. Our infection weapon is halfway charged.
Report of hostiles by group 2.
Ooh. Enemy heavy cruisers are getting weak. Also, have any of the Titan heavy cruisers promoted? Nope.
Outcome unknown.
Okay. This guy is about to die.
Dreadnought destroyed.
I was gonna say he's a little bit more than just damaged. If we can kill these 2 guys before their infection weapon is ready to go, we'll be looking pretty good. Which we might actually do. Yeah, this guy's about to die. Good job, boys. You have another one who's right here, who's getting close to dying. And we lost another heavy cruiser on the Kushan side.
Dreadnought destroyed.
Report of hostiles by group 2.
If we can kill this, I don't know if we're gonna kill this guy before their infection weapon's ready. It's about at 85%, I would say. This is so much easier when you have 2 monitors that are monitoring both computers. Oh. We're so close.
Outcome unknown.
Oh, we might be able to get it out.
Even probability of success.
Even this. Indeed. Wow. Now we have... Oh god. We now have 3 heavy cruisers on our end that are severely damaged. We got 1 that got promoted. Have you guys gotten promoted yet? No one on the beast side. Oh wait, one heavy cruiser got promoted on the beast side. And that is... Oh, god dang it, no. No!
No problem.
Report of hostiles
Ah!
by group 2. Reporting in.
I screwed up. Don't do concentrated fire. Focus on everything. What I meant to do was this. I meant to look on them, not actually tell all of our heavy cruisers to fight them. We have 3 heavy cruisers that are super weak right now. Wow. That is amazing. That heavy cruiser is dead. We got 2 left that are really injured. And in fact, if we don't really do enough damage, I think the next round of Beast Infect weapon, or next Beast Infect weapon shot, probably be enough to wipe our heavy cruisers out. A lot of the enemy heavy cruisers are still have a lot of health. There's a few of them. There's one that's on fire. The other 2 are in yellow, not quite at the on fire stage yet. Yeah, so if the beast use their infection weapon, they are definitely much more deadlier. Which makes sense. I mean, that's the whole reason why the heavy cruiser is so deadly, because of that infection weapon. Okay, our heavy cruiser in the back is about to die. The infection weapon on the other heavy cruisers is about 70% ready. And I don't think we have enough health or whatnot to kill another heavy cruiser. Besides, I think they're focusing on heavy cruisers that have a lot of health still. That might be because I accidentally reset them, but It happens. Ooh, one of the enemy heavy cruisers, I think it's this one right here, has 2 promotion levels now. So that's interesting. Here, we're gonna kill him before our infection weapon is even ready. Oh wait, our infection weapon is like 95% ready. We're just gonna wipe this guy out. Infect! Kill it! Indeed. Oh, that was awesome. So, the enemy has 7 heavy cruisers left. So, when they use their infection weapon, they are definitely much more of a match than what they would be without their infection weapon. That's actually pretty cool. So, now we're going to move on to our third battle. In the third battle, we're going to use our repulsor gun on our heavy cruisers. Let me make sure. Okay. Hopefully they'll just be pushed in that direction. We'll use a repulsor weapon on our heavy cruisers, and we'll see if that will help make their favor better. Now, in the first battle, when we didn't even use these, we had 7 of our dreadnoughts alive. So this one might be even more. But anyways, nope, I can't see them all over here for some reason. So let's go ahead and tell the enemy heavy cruisers to attack. Okay, and then we'll tell our heavy cruisers to attack.
Aye, command. Firing.
And once we get close enough, we will use our special ability.
Outcome unknown.
This is going to be really weird because I never launched 10 of these at the same time. I hope this doesn't break the game. Please don't break the game.
Repulsor cannon firing.
Ooh, there they go. Cool. Now, I don't know how much damage that actually... Okay, it did a slight amount of damage against all of the heavy cruisers. I'm sure that probably does a lot more damage in smaller ships. Oh yeah. There we go. Everyone's an aggressive. Okay.
Report of hostiles by Group 3.
Outcome unknown.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. At least that repulsor cannon has a fast recharge rate. It's kind of weird to see heavy cruisers use a repulsor cannon. It's kind of cool. Okay, so far still really even. But the repulsor cannon is ready again, so activate.
Firing repulsor.
Report of hostiles by Group 3.
Push those heavy cruisers back. Alrighty. Oh crap, there's mines. I'm pushing them into the minefields. No! This test is invalid. I didn't realize there were mines around us still. Oh well. I do expect the heavy cruisers to win this battle because of the fact that, or the Kushan heavy cruisers to win this battle because of the fact they won the original battle. So we ran into a minefield. This will be an invalid test, but hey, at least now we can see if that makes a difference on the enemy. Yeah, because this heavy cruiser is already about to die, and that's because he hit most of the mines. So that means we'll probably have to be careful with test number 4, because we're still in a minefield in that one. Now, I expect test number 4, the beast side to win, because the beast, their infection weapon is much more powerful than the repulsor weapon. Because the thing the repulsor does is just pushes them back, so, you know, that your long-range units can handle them.
All friendlies clear repulsor field.
Move away! Cool. It did actually end up doing enough damage to kill that heavy cruiser. So, there is that.
Report of hostiles by Group 3.
It's cool to see all the repulsor weapons just fire off. Let me see how the beasts are doing. Yeah, it is doing a decent amount of damage. We do have a few of the enemy heavy cruisers in the yellow now. And I think it's because it's 10 of them going off at the same time. So it does a minuscule amount of damage, but if you multiply that by 10, it's probably a couple percentage. Where Beast Infect weapon, I think, does like 10-15% each. Well, it's probably actually closer to like 8%. So that's why it almost kills one of our heavy cruisers when all of them launch the Beast Infect weapon at the same time. We only killed one of the enemy heavy cruisers so far. And a lot of our heavy cruisers still have a decent amount of health. Alright, time to use the repulsor weapon again.
Firing repulsor.
Boom! Push them back. Alrighty. And here come some more mines. Which are probably going to hurt the enemy heavy cruisers. But that also does give us some chance while they're being pushed back for us to pursue and hammer them. So it's kind of one reason why that actually helps. Okay, so one of the enemy heavy cruisers have died. This is kind of weird how it turned into this weird tier fight. This heavy cruiser over here is taking a decent amount of damage. We killed one of the enemy heavy cruisers up here. This heavy cruiser got promoted, so that's cool.
Report of hostiles by Group 3.
Oops. This one over here is still doing a decent amount. Our repulsor cannon is almost ready again. Alrighty, it's activated again. This should probably wipe out like 3 of them. A lot of them are, yep, that one was really damaged. A couple of them down here that, yeah, he had like no health. And then this guy had no health. So it does do a decent amount of damage. Like a really small amount of damage, but again, the minefield kind of interfered with the testing. I kind of expected it. There's a lot of mines around here. And with the 5 battles that are going on, I kind of didn't really know where to actually put these guys.
Destroyed.
We lost 1 dreadnought compared to the enemy. The enemy has a lot more going on. So the next test is going to be very interesting.
No problem.
Die, die, die! This heavy cruiser is getting so close to dying. We're almost ready for our next round of repulsing, which should be enough to kill most of them except for one, which is this guy here. I think he's the only one we're not going to be able to actually kill. But let's see how much damage this does. Did a smidge, like a percentage.
Excellent work, Strike Wing.
Ooh, you're promoted twice. Indeed. These 2 are about to die. So it definitely did help. Even though the mines kind of helped us out, we only lost 1 dreadnought, or 1 heavy cruiser so far. And there's no way this heavy cruiser is going to do enough damage to actually kill all these. Now, a lot of these are actually really damaged. And I think that's mainly just because of the fact that they did some damage around us. But because we kept pushing them away, it makes them not actually be able to do a whole lot of damage. So I can see how the repulsor weapon is actually kind of useful in these heavy cruisers. Because at least they can pursue them while they're trying to, like, you know, not re-navigate, but trying to, you know, get themselves centered. From like, oh god, we just got pushed somewhere. We might actually kill this before we can do our next repulsor attack. Boom! You're dead. Okay. So overall, we only lost 1 heavy cruiser when we were using our repulsor weapons on our heavy cruisers. So it did make a difference. So this next battle, I am actually interesting. I'm actually interesting. Wow. There we go. I was trying to get my other computer to go to the fourth battle. So this battle, we're going to have the enemy heavy or the Titan heavy cruisers use their beast infect weapon, and we're going to use our repulsor weapons at the same time. Okay, so let's go ahead and tell the enemy or the Titan to attack us, and then we'll tell our guys to attack.
Tracking. Target engaged.
Then we will tell them to infect, and then we will repulse.
Outcome unknown.
Firing
Group
repulsor.
leader reports even probability. Dreadnought
Push them!
reporting damage.
And he's dead.
Dreadnought
Critical. It's
destroyed.
going to blow.
Oh,
I command.
everyone aggressive. So they already automatically killed one of our dreadnoughts. Not bad.
Report of hostiles by Group 4.
Now, the repulsor weapon has a much faster recharge rate than the other cannon. The other cannon, the repulsor gun. Or the, god dang it, the beast infected weapon. It's about probably 3 times as fast, so we can repulse them 3 times as much as the enemy can infect us, which is pretty interesting. This guy is really going to die. He's being targeted by a lot of different heavy
Dreadnought
cruisers.
damaged. Outcome unknown.
Can we push them away before you die? Ooh, the answer is yes. Repulse them.
All friendlies clear repulsor field.
Dreadnought
He's died.
destroyed.
But he was able to use his repulsor gun. So we're able to do a slight amount of damage with that gun.
Report of hostiles by Group 4.
I still think the enemy, or the beast-infected heavy cruisers are going to still win. Just because of the fact of how much damage that beast weapon does.
Dreadnought is reporting damage.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, we got 2 of them that are really taking some damage. Wow. So our repulsor gun is 60% ready, and the enemy's beast weapon is probably about 70% ready. So it's probably 2.5 recharges before the enemy can use their beast infected weapon. Dreadnought destroyed. Dreadnought damaged.
Group leader reports even probability of success.
Your group leader has reported even probability of your success. Come on. No, you're not going to be able to.
Destroyed.
I was going to say, you're not going to be able to repulse that. You will. Repulse.
Repulsor cannon.
Report of hostiles by Group 4.
So it's about maybe 2.25. Because the enemy's repulsor cannon is just about ready.
Dreadnought is reporting damage.
Or, not repulsor cannon, but infection weapon. Alright. Infect.
Dreadnought
Oh,
destroyed.
he died. Okay, so they did a decent amount of damage.
Group 4.
Yeah, that infection weapon. Oh my god, infection weapon does so much damage. We haven't even killed one of the enemy heavy cruisers yet. That's how much damage they do.
This will be a difficult battle.
You're telling me.
Dreadnought destroyed.
Yeah, but the beast can use those infection weapons. Holy crap, that heavy cruiser becomes so much more powerful. I thought this one would be a little bit closer, but I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Oh my god, you're dying.
Dreadnought destroyed.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and repulse.
Firing repulsor.
Group is taking
That's
off.
not going to do a whole lot of damage. There's only 3 repulsors. We'll push them away a little bit, but not much.
Report of hostiles by Group 4.
It's not enough to really push them away to make that a difference.
Command, we are under fire.
Yeah, I see that. Don't worry about it. Infection weapon, though. So powerful.
Dreadnought destroyed. Squadron at a disadvantage. Group leader.
Alright, we're down to
no
2.
probability of success.
Yeah, I got that. We haven't killed one of theirs. That is just fascinating to me. There is one that is, like, severely damaged.
Dreadnought
Like,
destroyed.
it is so low on health that I don't really know how it's still alive.
Man, we need to pull back.
Well, you're gonna die. Sorry, sir. Well,
Destroyed.
we did not destroy one enemy heavy cruiser. So the repulsor weapon actually backfired when they can use their beast infection weapon, because I think the beast infection weapon has a further range than the repulsor or than the ion cannons. So even though they got repulsed back, they could still use their infection weapon and use that to their advantage. So when fighting the beast heavy cruisers, don't use your repulsors if you have the Kushan heavy cruisers. Interesting discovery. But anyways, we got one more battle to do, and this is the 14 heavy cruisers versus the 12 heavy cruisers. Now the reason why we did this, because so they have the same amount of SU value, because this is 14 times 60, which is 480, and the enemy heavy cruisers is 12 times 70, which is 480. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get this going. Let's go ahead and tell our heavy cruisers to attack, and we'll tell the enemy heavy cruisers to attack. And we are not using the repulsor or the beast infection weapon in this one. We're just going doing the normal types of attack.
Fight group
Oh, yeah.
in danger of defeat.
Aggressive and aggressive. Boom, boom, boom. This heavy cruiser's kamikazing into people. So many beams. Will the 2 extra heavy cruisers actually help our guys out? Who knows?
Report of hostiles by Group 5.
Burp, 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 burp. This is gonna be a interesting battle. Now you guys, okay, you're still using your weapons. You're still using, are you using your beams? You are. Alright, cool. I'm just double checking and making sure the enemies are all using their weapons. Are you? You're using your cannons and you're using your beams. Okay, cool. So they're all using everything.
Enemy force.
That's one reason why normally when you're attacking, you want to put your guys on aggressive, because if you keep them on defensive, sometimes they won't use all of their guns. They'll play a little bit more conservative, so they might use like 2 beams and 3 cannons instead of all of their arsenal. Plus, they also aren't quite as accurate when it comes to their targeting systems. I don't know if it makes a difference when it comes to repairing. I might have to look into that, seeing if maybe if you keep your guy in defensive, his repair bots will keep your units alive better. In the Beast, I don't think it really matters because of the fact they have a living organism on their ship keeping them alive, so they can go as aggressive as they want and not have to worry about it. But I'm going to have to look into that. That might be an experiment that we do. Alright, so it looks like some of the enemy heavy cruisers are starting to take a lot of damage. This one over here in particular is about to die. It's taking a lot of damage. The Kushan heavy cruisers all look like they're doing pretty good still. Some of them down to about 2/3 health. That heavy cruiser just died, so the enemy is down to 11 heavy cruisers. And the rest of their heavy cruisers still look pretty good. Did any of the Kushan ones get promoted from that explosion? Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright. So far, doing pretty good. It's still a gigantic energy cannon beam war going on. All still looks pretty good. Our heavy cruisers starting to take some damage. It looks like a couple of the enemy heavy cruisers are starting to get down to the yellow mark. The key is flaming. He's getting close to dying. He's actually in the red, so he's getting really close to dying. We have 2 more of the enemy heavy cruisers that are starting to get into red, or starting to get down to yellow. And that would be... I have no idea. It's one of these down here. You're getting close to yellow. But you're not the one I'm looking for. You're flaming, you're flaming. There should be a third one that's flaming around here somewhere. Or maybe getting close to flaming. But so far doing pretty well. We just killed another enemy heavy cruiser, so now they're down to 10. They have 3 of them that are in the yellow, 1 that's in the red. We have 1 in the yellow, actually a couple in the yellow. About 3 of them in the yellow. We have a couple that really haven't taken any damage whatsoever. So, that's pretty cool. But so far it definitely looks like if we do an SU comparison, these ones should definitely, or the Kushan should definitely win. So I think next time I do this experiment, I'm going to set the Kushan ones to 70 SUs instead of 60. I think we're just going to keep them the same as the Titan Heavy Cruiser, because to me that makes a lot of sense, because these heavy cruisers were a direct result to, or a direct answer to the Titan Heavy Cruiser. So to me it makes sense that it should require the same amount of support units. So we have 1 over here in the red. It's not too bad. The enemy has like 3 of them in the red. You're in the red. You're in the red. Should be another one flaming around here somewhere. This guy over here. So yeah, the enemy heavy cruisers are really starting to take some damage. About 3 of them are about to die.
Squadron outnumbers enemy force.
It would be this one. Right when I looked over, I figured out which one was about to explode. So you're taking a lot of damage. We have another one over here that's about to die. I think it's this one. Yep, it literally just exploded when I clicked on it. Where are you guys going? I don't know why these guys are moving away. You guys are gonna run into mines, and I'm not have to complain at you. Oh well, and if that's what they want to do, they can do that. The enemy is down to 7, we still have 14. This guy right here is about to die. But he's pretty much it. I have a feeling the AI is starting to gain intelligence, so he's trying to push me, or push our guys. Nope, they stopped moving. Unless they're all moving it now. That's a possibility. I was thinking they were trying to push us in the mines to try to get an advantage. But we're about to lose that heavy cruiser. We killed him. He has very little health left. He's only really being attacked by secondary fire, so he might survive. It's gonna be iffy. He's destroyed. The enemy is down to 5 now. Ooh, he's so close. I want him to live, but his health is so low right now. I don't think he's going to. Nope. There he goes. He dies. Alright, so we lost 1. We have 2 of them that are in the red, or the Kushan side has 2 of them in the red, but the enemy is down to 4, and he's about to lose another one, so now he's down to 3. So yeah. The numbers advantage that this team got definitely didn't make a difference. I think next time we experiment with them, we'll set the support unit number for these guys to 70. I think that's could be a lot better comparison. Because like I said before, these guys were a direct call to these guys. So they're pretty much equivalent to them in every single way. The only thing that they don't have is the Beast Infect weapon. Because, you know, they're not owned by the Beast. Yeah, this guy's gonna totally get tortured by 13 heavy cruisers. Oh boy. That is a lot of heavy cruisers. Oh my god, his health is dying so quickly. Well, that does it. That does it for this experiment round. So yeah, heavy cruisers. Or Kushan heavy cruisers. Amazing. I love them. They're one of my favorite Homeworld ships of all time. And they are definitely a match for normal heavy cruisers. The only thing I changed on the stats for these guys, for the amount of support units they cost. Because like I said, they actually cost 30 in the game, and that is way too low for a heavy cruiser class ship, or battle cruiser class ship. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have no idea how long this will be. There's a possibility I might decide to cut this up into 2 different episodes, because this took a lot longer the recording session went on a lot longer than I expected it to be. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you guys learned some about my favorite ship in the Homeworld universe. So anyways, guys, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you like what I do, consider subscribing, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. But until then, guys, this is Captain Soban signing out.
Attention fleet. Makan has found Valcora Gate. The coordinates are 1134489. We'll send everything we've got, but be advised, we are a mining vessel. It would be best if we did not have to move directly into the main battle.